As a medical malpractice lawyer, and I was a defense lawyer first and a plaintiff's lawyer, I've seen all kinds of tragedies. One of the things that's important to me is helping you and your family avoid becoming one of my clients. How do you avoid having medical malpractice occur to you or one of your loved ones? There's a number of different ways to do that. First of all, if you are having a major surgical procedure or other medical procedure, there's no reason to rush. If it is not an emergency or urgency, please seek a second opinion from another physician that you've done some research on who has familiarity with this procedure. There's no reason why you shouldn't stop, take a week, and ask for a second opinion. Oftentimes you'll see that there's a different way to do that procedure. Or if a second set of eyes looks at the procedure, maybe you don't need it at all. Another way to avoid being involved in a malpractice case is to do your research on what facility near you is the best for that procedure. Let's take the Cleveland Clinic Foundation for an example. They are rated the best cardiology department in the entire country and the best cardiothoracic department in the entire country. If you live in Cleveland, or if you're an Ohio resident, or really anywhere close to Ohio, and you have a cardiology problem, and you do the research, it should most likely lead you to a facility like the Cleveland Clinic. That example is true for other areas of medicine. Are you having a neurologic issue? Are you having a spine issue? Do you have a particular cancer that requires specialized treatment? If you spend time on the internet doing some research, it should become abundantly clear to you at which institutions have the most experienced physicians to help you with that problem. Another way to avoid a malpractice case, and I know this sounds common sense, bring someone with you who is an advocate. Now that doesn't mean bring someone who's going to be rude or mean to the care providers. That can actually have the opposite effect. But if you bring someone who is calm, who is rational, who is smart, and who is there to make sure that they're a second set of ears, we've often seen that that second person can, in a nice way, bring up to the medical care provider something that you may have missed. Also, when you are under anesthesia or waking up from anesthesia or asleep, they can be a second set of eyes in the room to make sure your vital signs are okay, to make sure the monitor is not alarming, to make sure that the nurses are coming to your bedside. We have spoken to many, many clients who've had their lives saved or who have avoided catastrophe simply because they had a friend or family advocate with them. And it's a powerful way to make sure that your voice is being heard to your care providers. Another area for people to focus on are the degrees after your care provider's name. Sometimes you see someone, they're very nice, they seem very smart, but you don't take a close look at what their degrees are. And let me give you an example. Let's start with the top and let's talk about medical doctors, okay? Medical doctor emanates from the acronym of MD, okay, medical doctor. That's actually a formal degree. Now, what is a DO degree? People don't know the difference. A doctor can also be a DO. That's a doctor of osteopathic medicine. Are they a doctor? Yes, they are. Are DO degrees the same as an MD degree? Many times not. MD degrees are the degrees that we've always thought of, the doctors on TV, the people out in the community, that's an MD. If you see that your doctor is a DO, it would be in your interest to do some additional research on their background. Oftentimes, DOs go to DO schools because they couldn't get into MD schools. Oftentimes, DO programs don't have fellowship training that is as rigorous as an MD training. For example, neurosurgeons or spine surgeons, the DO programs are not as long or as rigorous as an MD program. So it's very important to do some research on which degree your physician has, what kind of training that they underwent before you have a major surgical procedure with them. So let's say you have a problem with your foot. Let's say you fractured your ankle or you have a bunion. Bunionectomies are very common procedures. Or let's say you just have any type of really foot and ankle issue. Many times people go to what are called DPMs, podiatrists, okay? They believe that those physicians are physicians, and they're not. DPM stands for Doctor of Podiatric Medicine. That is a separate learning institution than an MD program. So quite literally, DPMs, while they call themselves doctors, are not the traditional physicians or doctors that we think of. So if an individual were to call me and they were going to have surgery on their foot or their ankle, or have a bunionectomy, or have any major procedure with their foot and ankle, I would urge them to see an orthopedic surgeon who has MD or DO by their name and skip the DPM.